Bala is with us of Cash the Chaos. Jai, good to have you with us here. Thank you for your time. From last time that we sort of spoke, very, very different looking screen, Jai, much higher in that sense. What's the prognosis near term for the Nifty, for the Bank Nifty?
Hi, Prashant. Good to be here. The trend for the Indian markets, we have a new trend for the Indian market, which is same as the old trend. The market is trying to push to record highs, and then the market gets repelled. And if you recall from our last conversation, I had said, the markets have broken significant intraday supports, but they haven't. I would like to see a close of the markets on the Friday level, and the markets have rightly, rewarded the patience and not taking any action has rewarded well. If you look at the markets are clocking about 6.5-7% gains for the year. That's nothing compared to a fixed deposit return, and you could have got the same with taking zero risk. And if you adjust for inflation, that's something a very average return. So what you need to do in the markets, you need to maintain patience, and you need to look at markets outside the large cap space. The action is taking place outside the large cap space. The large caps can do well if they can consolidate around current levels. Probably slightly about 22,600. That will be a good base for the markets to build on. Given the volatility of the markets, it will be good for the markets to go sideways. And if it does that, that will be a good launching pad. But if it were to proceed higher or lower, that may not be sustainable, but it can have an effect on the market.
Okay, Jai, hi, good afternoon. So, but in the meantime, while we're negotiating this range, you're saying that 27,700 is probably seeming like an upper boundary. What's the best way to play? And what should the trades be then if the index is going to remain in this range for a while?
Yeah, look at cash stocks and outside the large cap Nifty. Go to Nifty 500 stocks, and that's not in a derivative space. That might be the best place to play. I have a couple of picks from the Nifty 500 space. One is from the pharma space. Pharmas tend to do generally well around June, and that's the reason why I have a pick from pharma space. Wocar, I like Wocar at current levels. And if you recall from a June 2023 call, I had made a call at about 230 for record highs. It's come to the 52-week highs, and it's consolidating around the 490 mark, and it's now rising up. So if you can place a stop at about 495, I think this has potential to scale about 740. Likewise, I like Sasta Sundar Ventures. It's got a huge potential from current levels if the market's going to remain bullish, and very strict stop loss about 284, and a conservative stop at 300 would make sense. And I'm expecting this to raise to about 540, maybe even 750 in the medium term if the markets remain bullish.
Okay, all right, noted both those two. Sasta Sundar, by the way, is already up close to around 9%, or today volumes at close to around 4.6 lakh shares. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Jai, give us some levels on metals, both precious as well as copper. What are you looking at on both those two? Gold has come off a little bit from the top.
Yeah, if you recall our May 21st conversation, I had pointed to a 10% drop potential for copper, and that's come through. And the nearest support for copper is about 4.4, the high-grade copper. And when it comes to the precious metals, I was anticipating volatility, but in a bullish sense. So 29 is a very important level for silver, and about 2250 is a very important support for gold. I'm still bullish on it, but if these levels of 2250 and 29 were to break, I'll have to reconsider my bullish objective. I don't think they're going to go much below these levels, but it's coming to a very important support. I'm anticipating higher highs about 2600 for gold and about 34 for silver.
2600 on gold. Okay, that's interesting. Jai, so that also leads me to the near-term view on yields as well as the dollar, because after the drop now, again, there's a bit of an upward move in the last couple of sessions. We also have the FOMC. So, very near-term, what are the ranges that you're working with on the US 10-year and the dollar, DXY?
Yeah, there is a small possibility that we might have had a false breakdown in the US 10-year yields. 4.3 was a very important level. I was anticipating that to sustain, and then the markets to drop towards 350 first in the short term. and then recover to fresh multi-year highs past the 530 bips that we saw in October last year. So right now, I would be a bit watchful, but I would consider the trajectory is downwards as long as the US 10-year yields maintains below 464 bips. When it comes to the dollar index, again, I was anticipating a drop to about 102.5 in a corrective fashion. But if 105.75 gets taken out, we might have a more bullish dollar in the immediate term. So these are the important parameters when it comes to the US 10-year yields and the dollar index.
Oil, Jay, do you have a view? Oil?
Yeah. Again, Brent exhibiting a similar price structure. Below 81, it's supposed to accelerate much lower. It went down to about 70, mid 70, 77, and then it's come back to the same breakdown level. So watch 85.5. I anticipate that to not get taken out. If 85.5 does get taken out, we are looking at a revisit of 92 odds. But I'm anticipating the December lows that we saw about 72 odds to get taken out. But that is subject to condition 85.5 doesn't get taken out in the immediate term.
All right, Jay, got your point. Thank you very much for joining in and sharing that perspective with us. Great talking to you as always. Well, we're down to the last, I think, 1-2 minutes of today's trading.